My stepfather hated everything my mother loved, not just me or her hobbies, and hell, probably himself too, but everything that made her happy. But Apollo he hated more than anything. I was 5 when me and Mom got Apollo, a skinny, skittish puppy at the time. He was patient with me. Toddlers aren't always nice, but he worshipped Mom. The little I remember of that time was happiness. I was 7 when that man moved in. He didn't tolerate happiness in the house. He kicked Apollo for being too loud, and soon kicked me as well. After almost losing a finger, he learned not to hit us when Apollo was there. If he had known that I had noticed that he feared the dog, he would have beat me for noticing. He hated weakness, and it was always someone else's fault if he didn't like how he was feeling. After a while, he started ordering me to herd Apollo into another room and close the door when he wanted to beat my mother. Apollo would bark, howl, and claw the door when it happened. The neighbors called animal protection 3 times, but never called the police. Some dogs can open doors. Apollo wasn't one of them. I did not kill a man when I was 8 years old. All I did was open a door. With each passing day, it was becoming more obvious that the war would not have a peaceful end. All over America, people received a letter from their government. It contained a simple pamphlet with a short set of instructions and pictures. The pamphlet stated, "In event of nuclear disaster, the looming threat from the Eastern Bloc is growing. In order to save yourself and your family, it is of the utmost importance that you act now. Build a fallout shelter. Dig a hole in your garden. Make it 8x 4x 6 feet at least. See pictures. If you do not own a garden, find a suitable spot somewhere else, even if it is on someone else's land. The law has been changed to allow people to build a shelter each. In case of a nuclear threat, you are to bring your family into the hole and cover it with a door. Make sure the door has weights fastened to it. See pictures. If you hear a detonation, wait approximately 2 hours before you leave the shelter to be sure that there are not more bombs coming. Good luck." The following days, people busied themselves with following the instructions. It was a very strange sight. The whole of Central Park was filled with these makeshift shelters. Driving down a street, you could see one by every house. And when the alarm sounded, people scrambled into them. Those who had not built a shelter of their own forced their way into others. In hindsight, it is impossible to know how many believed that the shelters would save them, and how many realized that they had simply been asked to dig their own graves. Wars are expensive, and every penny counts. Yesterday, Todd made it his mission to sleep with as many women as possible. He managed a whooping 37 in just 24 hours, an insurmountable amount for an average day. But this was not an average day. Who was going to say no to some sex? He didn't know he'd soon be a father to 6 illegitimate children, or he wouldn't have done it. Yesterday, Anne snapped and slit the throat of her toxic ex-husband. The neighbors walking by saw the whole thing through the window, but simply looked at each other, shrugged, and kept walking. Anne continued her day as usual, leaving the still warm body on her floor. She didn't know she would be arrested for murder, or she wouldn't have done it. Yesterday, Lacey took her husband and kids on a drive on the winding roads next to the ocean. Her hands shook as she gripped the wheel, while her kids sat oblivious in the back. She and her husband shared a meaningful look as she jerked the car to the right and into the crashing ocean waves. She didn't know she would be shunned while laying 6 feet under, or she wouldn't have done it. Yesterday, the news was announced that an unsurvivable asteroid was headed straight to Earth. Yesterday, the world erupted into unprecedented chaos as everyone had to decide what to do with their last 24 hours. But today, utter and complete pandemonium occurred, because the asteroid missed.